Carl Sagan was a friend of mine, and he was a friend of this broadcast and every broadcast I ever did. We appeared in Texas together, in Washington, here in New York. He was always a great guest because he was a great storyteller and he was a great scientist. He came to this broadcast last May 27th, 1996, and he talked about his illness, he talked about science, and he talked about the universe. Here is that interview, May 27th, 1996. I hate to read too much, but this is almost like they've been reading your book. This is from the New York Times for Friday, May 24. Americans flunk science, a study finds. Less than half of all American adults understand that the Earth orbits the sun yearly, according to a basic science survey. Nevertheless, there's enthusiasm for research, except in some fields like genetic engineering and nuclear power that are viewed with suspicion. Only about 25% of American adults get passing grades in a National Science Foundation survey of what people know about basic science and economics. I mean, this is singing your song, isn't it?
Well, it's certainly what I'm talking about in the demon-haunted world. My feeling, Charlie, is that it's not that pseudoscience and superstition and New Age so-called beliefs and fundamentalist zealotry are something new. They've been with us for as long as we've been human. But we live in an age based on science and technology with formidable technological powers.
Science and technology are propelling us forward at accelerating rates.
That's right. And if we don't understand it, by we I mean the general public, if it's something that, oh, I'm not good at that, I don't know anything about it, then who is making all the decisions about science and technology that are going to determine what kind of future our children live in? Just some members of Congress? But there's no more than a handful of members of Congress with any background in science at all. And the Republican Congress has just abolished its own Office of Technology Assessment, the organization that gave them bipartisan, competent advice on science and technology. They say, we don't want to know. Don't tell us about science and technology.
Surprising, because Gingrich is genuinely interested, I think, in these kinds of things as a, you know, out of his own intellectual curiosity. Does the president still have a science advisor? Christian scientists who you say would rather allow their children to suffer than give them insulin or antibiotics. Astrologers come in for particular scorn on your part.
Well, I would say scorn, just derision.
Derision. A more generous version of scorn. But what's the danger of all this? I mean, you know, this is not the thing that...
There's two kinds of dangers. One is what I just talked about, that we've arranged a society based on science and technology in which nobody understands anything about science and technology. And this combustible mixture of ignorance and power, sooner or later, is going to blow up in our faces. I mean, who is running the science and technology in a democracy if the people don't know anything about it? And the second reason that I'm worried about this is that science is more than a body of knowledge. It's a way of thinking, a way of skeptically interrogating the universe with a fine understanding of human fallibility. If we are not able to ask skeptical questions, to interrogate those who tell us that something is true, to be skeptical of those in authority, then we're up for grabs for the next charlatan, political or religious, who comes ambling along.
Have we, the point is made, and maybe by you, you know, is it, when's the last time we had a president who made a speech about science? You know,
yeah,
I mean, it made
I say that.
You know, it is this notion that science is not of great interest to us in some sense, that somehow we don't want to learn.
You see, people read the stock market quotations and financial pages. Look how complex that is.
And because they know the direct connection to their own...
There's a motivation, but they're capable. Large numbers of people. People are able to look at sports statistics. Look how many people can do that. Understanding science is not more difficult than that. It doesn't involve greater intellectual activities. But the thing about science is, first of all, it's after the way the universe really is, and not what makes us feel good. And a lot of the competing doctrines are after what feels good, and not what's true.
Okay, but you got to make, I'm not sure you'll go this far with me, but I mean, there's a lot of that that's about feeling good, and a lot of that that's about hocus pocus, but at the same time,